Nah, you're good, man. All right,
All right, good.
welcome to the Browns Wire podcast. This is your host, Josh Keatley. With me, as always, co-host Donovan James. And today we have a very special guest, Georgia Tech legend, former San Francisco 49er, DeAndre Smelter. DeAndre, how you doing, man?
Hey, man, I'm doing good. Just enjoying this time right now. Happy to be on here.
Well, we appreciate you coming on, dude. It's very exciting. You had a hell of a career at Georgia Tech. You know, it's not very often you could talk to someone who came from a triple option offense that dominated the wide receiver position. Matter of fact, that year you guys had two good wide receivers, you and Darren Waller. So it's pretty crazy, honestly.
Oh, yeah, that's right. D-Wall's definitely doing great, out there in Las Vegas now. Love seeing him, dominate, so that's great. Like you said, triple option, not too many of us come up out of that, so.
No, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I was Donovan messaged me yesterday, and we were talking about you, and I kind of dove in, tried to remember that season a bit, and it's just crazy what you guys accomplished. Shaq Mason's also has had a hell of a career. Was also drafted fairly high in that draft. But before we dive into that stuff and talk about your career and what you got going on, Donovan, how you doing, man? I know you were in the hospital last night. Everything okay?
Yeah, man, I'm good. Crazy past 24 hours, man. That's all I can say. I'm blessed, happy to be still talking to DeAndre and yourself, Josh, and to people that listen. Appreciate it. Yeah, I just I have chronic kidney disease. Everybody knows that's like knows me pretty much, but I just had some kind of complications with it last night. I was very dehydrated. I was just watching basketball, bro, at home, watching the Clippers game like most people, and then I kind of just blacked out. I feel like all of a sudden, like my brain blacked out, and then I almost like actually passed out. I had to go to the ER a little bit. It's crazy. Yeah, I want to go into detail, talk all about that. It's not. It wasn't fun, honestly, and I'm still kind of recovering from it. So, DeAndre, sorry if I sound a little like monotone. I just got to the hospital like not too long ago, though, but it's cool.
I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah, a lot of IVs, insulin, all that stuff. So just gotta take care of myself. Health is wealth, as they say. So we gotta take care of myself. But yeah, man, I'm just happy DeAndre's on the show, man. By the way, he's a Tatnall Square Academy legend too, man. I know you're talking about your hometown, Macon, Georgia. So because it wasn't just on the gridiron, man. This dude was probably one of the best baseball players. He's one of the best baseball players I've seen. Honestly, I would say. So in person, yeah, man. So. We'll talk about all that stuff, though, man. But thank you. I appreciate you looking out for me, man. Josh, always, still trying to recover, but I'm feeling all right, man. I'm here. Got my water. I'm drinking hella water right now, so I won't say.
Stay hydrated, bro.
Yeah, man.
Well, so I'm glad you're feeling better, buddy. Let's talk about DeAndre. DeAndre, you're on the show, man. It's great to have you. I know you're doing a lot of stuff for your community. You got a lot of stuff going on right now. That's one of the reasons why we wanted to have the show. Usually we record on Sundays, but we wanted to have you on the show now so we could try to pump this out as quickly as possible because you have a camp coming up. Could you talk about a little bit what you're doing post-career, about your camp and about your site and everything you got going on in your life?
Right. So, we're having the second annual 478 football camp here. We had the first one in 2019. Of course, couldn't have it in 2020. So we got to go to heaven in this year for 2021, and excited, man. Really the whole purpose of the camp is to bring kids from both sides of the city, together, and have them interacting together, and more of a community feel to the camp. Not necessarily just football. It's a little bit bigger than football. It's more about a community. The camp is a camp, but it's more like a cookout feel. We got food on the grill. We got music playing. We got parents interacting around the track, etc. So it's a whole different vibe. So that's what we go for with the camps, and that's what we'll continue to do and try to have them every year.
That's awesome, man. I really love talking to players and former players about what they do in the community. I'm in Columbus, and a lot of the Ohio State guys, they hang around and try to do youth camps and donate money to the high schools they come from and stuff like that. But what made you want to take the leap into helping out your community? What was the thing that clicked in your mind? Like, I want to give back now.
So I don't think it's something that's clicked in my mind. My community's kind of always been on my brain. You can go back and look at my old Instagram posts. Like I still got captions that say 478. You know what I'm saying? So it's always been, even since I was in college and even since professionally, I've always wanted to find ways to, just continue to give back to my community, because I just know how important it is. If it wasn't for some people in my community taking the time with me and really, telling me what I could do and helping me hone my skills, like mentally, physically, and all of that, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I know how important that is to give all that back, especially at camp for free. I want to just have all these kids out there having a good time and, free of charge, and just give them free game.
That's awesome, man. Do you want to give out the website and how to sign up and all that information? Is there any way people can maybe donate money to your cause, or?
Well, that's right. So if you go to my my Instagram, so it's Drizzy_Dre478, and I have the link actually in my bio, so you can go in there, click and register as well. And the flyer is on all of our social platforms. So if you guys go in there and click on that link and just shoot us an email, we can either send you the flyer, or you can click directly on the link and just sign up.
That's awesome. And for anybody that's interested, we are going to have his Twitter handle we're going to have DeAndre's Twitter handle on the USA Today website, the Browns Wire website, the YouTube channel, so you can get there and go to his profile, get the link there. But like I said, I think it's great, man, that you're getting involved with your community. You're not just focusing on football; it's the community as a whole. Donovan said it about how you were not only were you a great football player, but you were also a great baseball player. You actually got drafted into the MLB, and if it wasn't due to a shoulder injury, you likely would still be playing baseball. Is that right, or I got some of the facts messed up?
No, that's correct. When I went to GT, I suffered a series of shoulder injuries that cut down on my velocity a lot, and which actually led to one of the reasons what led to me switching over to football while I was at Tech. So nagging shoulder injuries, just everything kind of combined with that.
So when you decided to make the move to football and you had that conversation, if it wasn't for that injury, would you have played quarterback, or were you always going to play wide receiver due to your size and speed?
So I actually I got recruited to play safety in college out of high school. So that was my first position. So when I went to Coach Johnson's office, I asked him, like, hey, I want to play on the team. Can I play safety? And he was like, well, if your best bet on the field is probably at receiver, if I want to come on there and make an impact. So I said, okay, like, I don't feel like I had wiggle room to be like, no, I'm playing safety. So I just want to start on the team. So he's like at receiver. So I was like, okay, but he didn't even tell me that. He didn't even tell me like I had a spot right there. He was just like, okay, like we'll get back to you. So
damn, really?
Right. So I think he announced it like on Twitter, maybe a couple of days after that. And I got a couple of texts from some of my guys on the team telling me, like, congratulations, like, ready to go. Because, even though I wasn't playing baseball, I was still close to some of the guys on the football team, too. So it was kind of a crazy story.
Was he a chill guy, or was he just was he like kind of like when you asked him and had the conversation with you, was he kind of like putting you off, or could you tell, or like how was his attitude about it?
So he wasn't putting me off. If you know PJ, he'll cut it to you straight, and that's what I like about him. So he was just telling me what it was. He didn't have many scholarships open. I'm a guy that hadn't played football since my junior year of high school. So of course he recruited me and stuff, and while he was there, but he was just being straight up like, hey, we don't have much open. If something comes open, we'll try to help you out. But so
that's crazy. And then you're the great guy.
DeAndre, did you ever think about walking on the basketball team too? Because you played basketball in high school too. You could hoop too, I know.
Hey, I did play basketball in high school. Basketball was kind of like my fun sport in high school, kind of like my release, kind of in between two serious sports. But
you never thought about walking on?
I wish I would have tried. I got mistaken for a basketball player a couple of times on campus, so maybe I should have tried.
That's funny. So it's obviously today's with the transfer rules, guys are transferring willy-nilly with very little pushback, not even sitting down a year. And you had a very accomplished career at Georgia Tech. If you left, you were all ACC when you left. You guys were you guys beat Mississippi, beat the brakes off of Mississippi State in the BCS Bowl. Very, 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 very accomplished career. I'm not taking anything away from that, but we did talk about how it was a triple option offense. So, was there any thought in your mind like, man, if I'm going to play football, I want to go somewhere where I'm gonna get the ball? But, what was your thought process there? Did that even come across? Or do you think you would end up somewhere different today?
Right. I think it's just a mindset thing, you know. So I was a guy coming from not having playing football my junior year to playing baseball, so being out of the game for 4 years and then going right back to the gridiron. So the way I was looking at it is, hey, I don't have much room to, you know, work with. I went in there just saying, hey, I really want to enjoy my last couple of years of college, and I think that would be really good playing football. So I didn't go in there with the mindset of, oh, I need to go somewhere where I can get the ball. I went in there with the mindset of, hey, I'm gonna go in there and find a spot on the field. You know.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's just how I went about things.
That's
not thinking too far ahead, just trying to kind of stay in the moment and just tag it day by day.
And it worked out. It worked out perfectly for you, man. I mean, at what point did you know that playing in the NFL was a reality?
So towards the end of my first year,
Really?
towards the end of my first year, I heard people maybe kind of around, you know, the school talking about it a little bit, but I still knew that I had so much more room to improve to even like listen to what they were saying, you know. So I really went into that next year with the mentality of, hey, if I really want to do this, I really need to, you know, go in 100%. And then I don't know if you know, but that last year, that's actually started out my fourth year because I wanted to finish out baseball all my 4 years, but that's when I just made the executive decision to just switch all and go all in football that last year.
Wow, I did not know that. That's crazy, and like it obviously it paid off. You know, what before I get into like the pre-draft process and all that, I wanted to ask you one quick question. Mm-hmm. What was your favorite moment of your college career? What play or moment sticks out in your mind of, damn, I dominated, or damn, that was a good feeling?
So I would say it's hard to pick one. But I would say it's two moments that really stuck out to me in college. And my first one would be my first year when we played Pitt, when I made the catch on like 3rd and 17. And that was a big catch for us because one, it was kind of like everybody was kind of like, okay, like that's who he is. And then two, it made us bowl eligible. So we was getting a bowl check that year. And then
big time.
And then two is probably Clemson. My second year is because they just whooped our ass. First year, we were up in Death Valley. You know, they just dominated us, and so I really wanted that game on our schedule the next year. So we ended up getting that W. So that game as a whole, I think I ended up getting ACC Player of the Week. But that was cool.
Do you remember who was covering you on Clemson's side? What corners did they have on you? Do you remember?
I think Mackenzie Alexander.
Whoa, really?
I knew it was an NFL guy. It's Clemson.
Yeah,
I knew whoever you balled against was probably the NFL right now.
Yeah, I think he might have been a freshman that year. I can't remember, but it was like my second year. So.
He was a big recruit though.
I was pretty much freshman too.
You know, it's funny too. I was, you know, trying to flip back and throwing on some highlight tapes and going back and try to get the memories jogged a little bit. And you know, you had a lot of clutch receptions. Like it felt like on third downs, you were the guy, or like it would be 17. There was, I think it was like against North Carolina where there was like 17 seconds left, and you were the one that scored the touchdown. So you know you don't really see it. Again, I keep harping on the triple option offense, but it felt like if it was 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 6, they were like, okay, we gotta get DeAndre the ball, which I thought was kind of funny because that's why I asked you what your favorite moment was, because I mean I feel like there were 5 or 6 plays or situations where you kind of put the team on your back more or less, if that makes sense.
Right. So even going back to that Pitt, the Pitt catch. So coach actually called timeout before that. I think we got 2 penalties in a row that backed us up to like third and whatever. You know, triple option 3rd and long is no good. So, no good at all. So 3rd and 17, coach calls the huddle and he's like, hey, he's like, can you run a post corner? I'm like, Coach, we never even practiced the post corner ever. Like, you know, first year out there, but it was cool. He was like, can you make a play? I was like, yeah, you know, throw it up and I'll make it. And it just happened. It's kind of happened like one of those movie scenes. But I don't know. I guess ever since then, like on in my career, coaches felt comfortable throwing me the ball. So
that's wild. He just drew the play in the sand, basically.
Right.
Dude, that's crazy, man. Yeah, like, you know,
that's funny.
I don't want, like I said, I don't want to keep harping on it. It's just, we talk to a lot of players, and they come from specific situations. We talk about, pass happy quarterbacks and yada, yada, yada. And it is, let's be realistic. It is a hurdle that you had to overcome. You and Darren Waller both, and you don't see it very often. So it's pretty crazy. But I'll stop harping on that for now. I kind of wanted to dive in. Now that we're a Cleveland Browns podcast. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what it was like in training camp, what that draft process was. Obviously, you were a 4th-round pick to the San Francisco 49ers. Probably would have been a higher draft pick if not for an injury against Georgia. It was ACL?
Right, yep. ACL.
Yeah, so that needs to be said. But obviously, you still had to go through all that. And what is it like being a rookie arriving at an NFL training camp? What should we be paying attention to? What are the attitudes, the confidence levels? What's going on?
I think it's just around training camp. It's just like a lot of unsure energy. I think it's just new. It's just a whole new process. You're around a group of guys. I mean, for me, I was more plugged into the baseball world growing up and knowing everybody in that circuit, other than a football circuit. So everybody to me was pretty much new. But just rookie camp in general, it's it's just a process. It's unlike anything. Of course, like at the highest level you get, it's gonna be intense. But I mean, that's the fun part. I mean, competing with guys who go out there every day and really do it.
Did anybody try you up like the first week? I know somebody on defense had to try you up, right?
Well, so my first year I was out rehabbing my whole year with the ACL.
Okay.
I'm trying to think.
Not really. You didn't get hazed or anything?
What's up?
You didn't get hazed? You don't have to drop names. You don't have to drop names.
It wasn't any crazy, no crazy hazing going on. I know we had like a rookie talent show.
Yeah.
Like that, I think I got the weasel out of it by being like the DJ or something like that, but just making sure it was entertaining. But that's nothing crazy.
That's a good move. Be the DJ for the talent. I've always heard about the talent shows. They usually, I feel like the higher the draft pick, they make him do like crazy stuff too. Like I saw Justin Herbert talking about how they made him sing a bunch of like 90s boy band songs or something. He looks like he would sing those songs either way. But,
yeah, he looks like a boy band member.
Yeah, he does.
Hey, they will go out and embarrass you. Or if you're in the first and second round, you'll go out and pay a hefty dinner.
Oh yeah, I've heard about those too, man. A lot of those.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to, obviously, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but Donovan and I have never been in the NFL, so we're. but from the outside looking in,
Josh played college ball. At least he got it over me.
Not at Georgia Tech. No, when you remember that when you played, what was it, Wolford, your senior year, and you guys beat them 75-0
Yeah, I remember that.
I played at Valpo. That's the comparison. we were the Czech school, just looking for the Czech, getting their ass beaten, going home. But so obviously we get all these reports and stuff like, oh hey, Justin Fields looks good. Tua's throwing 5 interceptions. What was it? Jamar Chase had a really ugly drop that has made the highlight reels on Twitter. Should we be putting stock in that, or is it just not? Is it not a big deal?
I wouldn't say it's a big deal. I mean, we watch film where Julio Jones is dropping passes. You know what I'm saying? You never see that. You just never see that. Especially, that's what I'm saying. You give guys a chance to get acclimated and things like that, and it becomes second nature. That's kind of what I meant by like the unsure part. You know what I'm saying? You got 2 goals out there, 5 picks. You got your high prospect out there dropping balls. It's a process. Now, if they continue to do it, it might be a problem. But I would say just let them get all those out. That's what rookie mini camp's for. That's what camp is for. Getting prepped for that season. Yeah,
that's it. I just find it very interesting. As I'm going to refer to as a wide receiver expert, right? So. What if I'm scouting wide receivers, or if I'm looking for the next wide receiver to be the big thing? What am I looking for? What's a key trait that maybe not a lot of? Obviously, it's really easy to be like, oh, that guy's 6'2", runs a 4.5. That guy should be good. But what's something that I wouldn't be able to? Maybe I overlook.
So I mean, everybody can see. I feel like right now everybody can see. Like they can, maybe not everybody, but you can tell if somebody's a good athlete or not. You can tell if they can catch, run, got good hips, feet, hands. Um, but really, a lot of what separates it is up here. So I mean, if you're talking to a guy that's got good hands and good feet and all the intangibles, and you're talking to somebody who's got all the intangibles up here, then I feel like those are two completely different things. So a lot of stuff what you can't see, with your eyes and your hands and all that is good. But when it comes to, up here, knowing the playbook, knowing your splits, knowing your routes, knowing the depths of your routes, knowing the coverages, that's the thing that people can't see, that if a receiver, especially early on, has that, it can slow the game down a lot for him.
Interesting.
Okay. Let me ask. I gotta ask this, Josh, because we think we had a debate about it a few months ago, maybe.
I'm sure.
Your top 5 receivers in the NFL right now. You got a top 5 you can give us? Like, you don't have to do it in order, just like five dudes, man. You really like think of the best.
That's a good question.
Because me and Josh's list, like we had some of the same guys, but we just had different numbers rated on them. But I won't put you on the spot, Like I'll put you on the spot as far as 5 guys,
right?
Not in order.
How about this? Can you tell me you guys' top 5, and I will see if I can agree with you.
All right, I had Adams at 1.
Okay.
I had Tyreek at 2, and that was a controversial. Everybody said,
that's right. I didn't. Yeah. I was trying to bend down to find my list. Yeah. This was like we had this conversation a long time ago. But you're right. I didn't have Tyreek in my top 5.
Yeah,
that was the
wild part. I had Adams, Tyreek, D-Hop at 3, and then let me see who else I had. Go ahead, Josh. Let me find the rest of my list.
I'm trying to find. I think I had Devontae, DeAndre, Stephon Diggs.
I had Diggs.
Did I have DK Metcalf and Michael Thomas in there?
No, I thought you said Michael Thomas was honorable mention.
Was he?
I like Mike Thomas, man. He gets a bad rap, but I know they call him Slant Boy or whatever. But hey, man, it's not a lot of dudes doing it. I want to see what he does this year without.
I might have Julio in there instead of Michael Thomas.
Julio,
I can't remember.
Not make anybody's top 5.
No, Julio. He had to have.
It's a lot. Odell. Hey, we got to talk about Odell on the Browns wire too, because
I had Odell in my top 5.
Yeah, you said Odell. Yeah, if he's healthy, he's in the top 5. Which I mean.
Yeah, because I don't think I had DK and I don't think I had Diggs in there. I think I had OBJ and Julio in there. It's hard to we kind of agree.
I had Diggs and Evans, Mike Evans. That's what I had. Mike Evans. That's what I had Julio right there, and then AJ, DK, and like all those dudes. Really, like there's a bunch of. Cooper Kupp is the most underrated receiver in the NFL. By the way,
Cooper Kupp is nasty.
I've heard every receiver I talk to that played college or NFL always says Cooper Kupp's the most underrated receiver. And I was like, I don't really think he is, but I started looking at him and I was like, he really is underrated. He's going to show out this year though, because
he's got great routes and
his route running.
I like Keenan Allen too.
Yeah. My cousin's big on Keenan Allen. Darius, right. He says they went to Cal too. They both went to Cal, but whatever. But he's still Keenan's route running is great. I hate leaving him out of the top 10, but I mean,
it's a lot of receivers, man. That's why. That's why I wanted to know what Charles was talking about.
Well,
Debo man is going to break out this year. Speaking of 49ers, I think he'll break out this year and have a pretty big year.
Oh yeah, he's a great route runner too. I think that we like that's the problem is that like we're kind of like okay, there's probably you could have arguably 10 guys in your top 5, top 5 or whatever, in that upper echelon. But the big disagreement was Tyreek Hill, and I am interested to hear your take on that because I don't view him as a top 5 or even a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL because he's very good. I think he does. When you talk about guys like Devontae Adams, and you look at the scope of his entire career and what he's done. He does a variety of things, and he does them all really well. He can be a possession receiver. He can be a deep receiver. DeAndre Hopkins, he lacks the deep speed, but he makes up for it with his leaping ability and his physicality, right? So Yeah, so even though that may be something he's lacking and he makes up for it in another aspect. Tyreek Hill, we don't really see that. He's a burner, right? That's what he does, and the offense allows him to just be the burner. I don't think the offense relies on him to necessarily do other things, if that makes sense. That's why we had an argument earlier last year about the was it was a DJ Mark Curtis Samuel who was I can't remember if it was you, Donovan, or who we had someone on the podcast, but I said I think Curtis Samuel is probably the better receiver than DJ Moore because I view DJ Moore as kind of the same kind of player where he was really good at one thing.
I like Curtis better.
And Curtis Samuel, yeah, we were arguing.
But see, I think Tyreek is so good at what he does. Like he's one of the top.
I didn't say he wasn't, but if
it's
he's
like
with,
I think it makes up for like some of the stuff that he doesn't do or they don't ask him to do because they don't really ask him to do that. They got Travis Kelce to go over the middle, and they got Mecole. They got.
But if he's with
DeMarcus, who's also from 478, by the way. Shout out to Marcus Robinson. Yeah, I had to mention that. But yeah, I just Tyreek is. I mean, Randy Moss obviously deep ball, but like he's up there with.
No. If you take Devontae Adams and you put him on the Jaguars, he's still a Pro Bowl wide receiver. I think if you take Tyreek Hill and you put him on the Jaguars,
he's Pro Bowl.
I don't think so. I think he kind of fades into black, kind of.
Well, that's DeAndre.
You think he benefits more from the Chiefs' offense more than anything?
I think he
put the pieces around it.
Yeah, I think he benefits more than guys like Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins. That's a good way of saying, of summing it up. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that, but at the end of the day, I mean, just the way I think, it would be speculation. We've always seen him with the Chiefs, you know what I'm saying, and being around in that system, and like you said, he's got the speed, he's got world-class speed.
Yes.
Not a lot of guys have.
No.
Which if you can work to your strengths and you can do one thing well, you know your strengths, then you can be dominant. And that's the thing. He's blessed to be in a solid position, a good organization that's got a good plan for him and a good plan moving forward. So Devontae Adams you could put him anywhere and he would thrive. I can see both sides, man. I can't see.
Where would you put Odell in the mix? And Jarvis, those type of guys. Like, I mean, second tier probably for Jarvis, third tier, or is Odell still in the top tier?
I think Odell's still in the top tier.
Okay.
You know, I feel like we live in an age now where you got to be out there for people to still think you're relevant. You know what I'm saying, or be still doing this. You know, maybe the injuries took away from a lot of that, but once you start seeing it again, you know, that conversation will start back growing up.
You know, to go back to what you were saying about Tyreek Hill, what you said was very, very eloquent. So often when when Donovan and I are talking, or we're having a third guest on, and again, we haven't reached the tier that you have. You played at the highest possible level, so if you view it totally different. And when you said you kind of you were saying, you know, you got to take that into account, right? It's not Tyreek Hill's fault that he's in the best organization. You know, I don't really think about that stuff because I'm used to playing Madden. You know what I mean? Like that's just not. Sometimes it's hard to separate. It's not his fault that he plays at that organization, right? He's where he's at. Organization is a huge reason for everybody's success, right? I mean that's the difference, right?
Right. It's huge. It's huge. It's just like, I try to tell even some of the kids that I work with, you know, some of the kids I work with maybe not want to even go to play football, but, you know, they like business. So it's like, hey, man, if your business has a terrible organization as a whole, it might make everybody else look just a little bit worse than they actually are. You know, that's part of having a bad business. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, even being in the league, I was around on some good teams and I was on some bad teams, and you can just see the difference between the organization and just the team structure as a whole, you know, those differences. So yeah, it's a perspective thing, man. Like, I've just been able to see it and live it and be in it every day. So you just see it from a little bit different angle, and you just realize, like, there's nobody in that league that is bad.
Right.
There's nobody in that league that is bad. It's just it's a lot of factors that play into it.
I've heard that from every player, man. I remember the first time. No, for real. I try to like sponge, like just be a sponge for every time I interview a former NFL player, current. I remember when I interviewed, one of my first interviews was Gary Gilbert, man, who's still hanging around the NFL, man, like on the Cowboys, and he told me like the first thing he noticed was just like the game speed was just, especially for him. I mean, going to the Patriots, you know, playing for them, playing for the Rams too, and a bunch of, you know, really good coaches. He was like, the game speed, everybody's so good. He was like, I'm at Texas, SMU, and I can point out which guys are like, you know, not good. You can sort of pick on players in college, but he's like, you can't do that.
That's so true. It's like, that's why in practice, like you can't come out there in practice sometimes and be like, okay, like this is just a whatever day. It's like, no, every play has got to be 100%. And then that's the cool part though. Like I said earlier, the competition. You know, you're going up against the best of the best. Is what better time to, you know, rank yourself.
That's true.
Right.
Sorry, Joe. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I was just gonna ask because I need a refresher. What round were you drafted in baseball to high school again?
So in baseball, I was drafted in the 14th round to Minnesota, so the Twins.
Did you ever think about going back after football is over and trying to get in A ball, double A ball, or something? Or
honestly, I did.
Okay.
I went back to my high school for a little bit, and I went back and started hitting in the cages, just starting to toss around a little bit. But then I just started to maybe take my other career a little more seriously after football. So I really just got into computers and stuff like that. Went off to school for that, so I just stayed doing that.
True Georgia Tech kid, man.
Hey, I didn't go to GT for computers, but somehow they circle back around.
You just around them, man. It's just it's a lifestyle vibe.
Hey,
Georgia Tech. Yeah.
Right, I was in that environment, man.
Did you like being pretty close to home? Macon in Atlanta, people don't know, because I know this is an Ohio-based show. It's about an hour, I'll say. Probably, right? Yeah, I mean,
yeah. About like an hour, maybe a
little traffic.
Hour and a half, yeah.
Did you like being that close to home, or what were the other schools that you were looking at? Or was Georgia Tech kind of always it for you? Or was it, I know there was other hats on the table, signing day, I'm sure.
I was always looking to stay, maybe kind of in Georgia, that was home. I had a really good relationship with my mom, so I always wanted her to be able to come to the games, family in general, moms, pops, uncles. I wanted them all to be able to come. But if it wasn't Tech, I was either going to try to go to LSU and play both, or it's probably going to be Stanford.
Damn.
Okay. Stanford would have been cool too. I'm a West Coast kid at heart, so
yeah, that's
really cool.
We would have been over there with KJ Costello and all those dudes. Davis Mills, who's from Georgia too, though. I think he was a little bit after you, but still, yeah, he would have been coming in when you left, pretty much. But KJ would have been playing with for sure, and all those guys, Kevin Hogan. So that's cool. And LSU, I mean, obviously LSU.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So,
right. And I knew a couple kids that I played ball with. Especially all those tournaments and things as I was doing in my junior and senior year. A lot of them were committed to LSU too. A lot of those guys. So that's why LSU was up there.
Those teams are always. Josh doesn't watch college baseball. I'm not gonna lie, man. He don't watch college.
I don't watch baseball. But
LSU and Stanford are always in the mix for the college World Series, especially. Stanford's pretty much. Stanford's like solid at every sport. I feel like they're always in the top 25, like every sport. Women's, men's, like it don't really matter what sport. LSU is, one of the best baseball. They had Trey Turner. Was that around the time you would have been going there? The Trey Turner was at LSU from the Nationals?
Trey Turner went to NC State, right?
I thought he went to LSU.
I
could be wrong. You would know more than me too.
I think so. I think while I was at Tech, I think Trey was at NC State.
What big time player LSU have? Is it Alex Bregman? Alex Bregman, right? Is it him? Was it from the Astros?
Now I'm drawing a blank.
You gotta look that up. I thought maybe it's Alex Bregman. I could be wrong.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm trying to Google this as you guys go, but there's 50 million Trey Turners, bro.
If you Google Alex Bregman, I think that's who.
I think it was TREA.
Yeah, it's TREA. Turner.
Type in like Trey Turner.
And I'm sure Deion.
Because he played with like Rodon and everybody.
Okay. I'm sure he's right. I think it's Alex.
Yeah. He went to NC State. You were right.
Okay.
NC State was really like they were nasty. I'm pretty sure they went to Omaha.
Are you watching? Are you watching this year? You still got?
I haven't been watching. Not too much this year.
Hey, if you have a chance to watch Vandy, man, they're fun, man. The Al Leiter's kid playing pitching, and then Rocker, who's from Georgia too. Yeah. I know you've heard of him. He's from Georgia. Just let me ask one more question real fast before I get back to Josh. I just want to ask something about Georgia real fast. Just You're talking about being from home. This is what like people wanted me to ask because I lived in Macon for like 7 years. I went to Mercer, so I'm not like from there, but my grandma's from there. I mean, I got family on L Street, man. I'm Macon and you know what I mean. But if you know where that is,
right.
But
oh yeah, I do.
Okay, for sure. I just want who you can include yourself in this. I will say the past decade. I'd say best player come out of 4.78. So not just Macon, whole 4.78. Best football player. Because you got Quintez, Cephas. I was talking to Josh about him last night. He's from another receiver.
Yeah,
really good dude. By the way, I interviewed him when he was
he was dirt. He was nasty at Wisconsin. I can't remember what happened.
Man.
I think he got suspended or something for grades. I can't remember.
No, it was some other stuff, but it was sexual misconduct. But it was sexual misconduct. But they all dropped the charges. So he's with the Lions now. So
yeah, that's right. The Lions. I was trying to think.
Yeah, but yeah, you got. I mean, I just mentioned DeMarcus Robinson. He was dope. I'm trying to think, man. There's probably players I'm missing in the past. I just talked. Yeah,
that's what we need. We need a list.
I gotta make a list. How about I make a list?
It's a good amount of. It's a good amount of, and people don't realize, but it's a good amount of players that come out of here. And
yeah, the 4.78 might have been too much because that's a big area cut. I could have just said like maybe Macon. Because Jake Fromm's from 4.78 too. It's a lot of guys. Yeah,
it's a lot. I don't know.
What's the kid from Georgia right now? Kieris, Peach County. A lot of Peach County kids play.
Right, yeah. Peach County's got a solid program.
What about best player from Tatnall then? Is that you? Gotta be you, right?
Hey man,
he's like, I'm being humble right now. I know Tatnall's had a couple linemen that are D1, but I don't really keep up with like.
I don't know if we've had many D1 linemen. I know we've always had a solid program, but I don't think not many Division I linemen.
Not really Division. You play with Brett Lacer, right? Did you play with him?
Right. Yep.
Okay.
Brett.
Okay.
I forget where he went. He went out. I think. Did he go to Southern?
He went to Georgia Southern. Yeah.
To go play ball. Yeah.
Yeah. He did.
Yeah, but no, Tatnall was always.
So you guys, weren't you running the option in high school pretty much?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Couldn't get away from
I just thought about that.
No way.
Yeah, because Brett ran for like a bunch of yards. Like he was a quarterback, but I always saw him as like one of the top runners every week on the stat line. Like for schools around that area, it was like Brett Lace and Brett just running the ball all the time.
Right.
I'm like DeAndre, get DeAndre the ball.
Right. Yeah, we ran the triple option. I think every year that I played in high school.
Wow.
Right.
49ers is probably – was it crazy being on 49ers not running the triple option?
That was the biggest learning curve for me, was trying to learn this playbook, and then now I got 18 more words attached to every single play. So that was –
yeah. It's crazy.
That was the biggest part for me.
We have a guy that's been scouting for like 30 years named Bill Carroll, man. Josh knows him. And when you came out in the draft, he was like – the first thing he noticed, he didn't know anything about you. But I was like, DeAndre Smelter, this kid from Macon, he's good. Watch him. He was like, this kid can block. Like, this dude's been scouting for it. I was like, he'd been in triple option for like 8 damn years, bro. Right. Of course, he better be able to block.
I better know how to block.
Yeah, he's like, this. He said you were like, I think he said you're like one of the best blocking wide receivers in that class, if not the best, man. Like wide receivers. So I remember that because he was talking about you and he was like, he can block, man. He's got range. Like, so it's just funny kind of looking back and remembering like Tatnall did run a triple option and Josh was alluding to you guys at Tech, Paul Johnson running triple option so much. But yeah, I just had to ask a couple funny questions, man, just about kind of back home. I always like to I think I asked Josh
Well-
and Matt Baby the same thing about because he's from Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
About best players he went against and stuff. They played Grayson High School, which is like a powerhouse. I mean, they played a bunch of schools.
Right.
But I like to ask. I think he went to McIntosh, I think, or something like that. But one of the bigger schools up there. But I always like to ask that question, man. It's funny. It's fun.
I am curious. Who is the out of college and pro? Who is the biggest freak that you either played with or against? I think TJ. We had TJ Ward on the show. He said DeMarcus Ware, and he gave us two answers. He gave us DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller. He said those guys were just insane. Is there anybody that sticks out in your mind where you saw him and you're like, God damn, that guy's a human being?
When I got to the league, and I would just say from a practice and a film wise, I'll say Alden Smith.
Really?
Alden.
I believe that.
I can believe that too. Yeah, he's dope, man.
Bro, he was cold.
You just saw him in the locker room and you're like, God damn, that.
Watching one-on-ones on film,
watching
one-on-ones at practice, watching drills, like he was just different.
That's crazy. I do believe it. I do believe that. That's wild.
Who else? Kittle, George.
Okay.
Really? See, that surprises me because he's not like
Kittle's the best. Top 3 tight end. Him, Darren.
Yes, but he doesn't. He doesn't look like Alden Smith. Looks like someone like, oh yeah, that guy is born to play football. George Kittle, other than being tall, he's not like. Right? He's not like an imposing. If I saw him at the mall, I wouldn't stare at him awkwardly. Alden Smith, I would. I'd be like, God damn, you know what I mean? Right?
Yeah,
though, you know what I mean?
Well, I guess Alden from like the stature and like the physical. I guess Kittle from just like playmaking and camp. But if we're talking just straight from like Gladiator, it's got to be Navarro Bowman.
Really? I believe that too. I believe that too. He looked like a monster at Penn State too. Yeah.
Nah, for sure. Both. We
had Vince Workman on the show, and he was with the Colts during the rookie year when they drafted Marshall Faulk, and he's like, man, this guy, he's just a little guy. He ain't gonna worry about nothing to worry about at all. And he saw him on the field the first day, and he's like, God damn, I gotta retire. He was that sick. But yeah, that's I was like asking people that. But I want to ask one more question. I know it's getting late. I know we told you only 30 minutes. We got you at 45. Just one more question. With all the information coming out, you got the XFL coming out, the USFL coming out, the CFL's restarting again. You know, I believe there's another spring league that's starting out. The indoor football league's exploding. You mentioned it yourself. One of the biggest issues that you had was that there was 18 different words and phrases attacked on to a play. You know, Donovan talked about Garrett Gilbert dealing with the speed of the game. Are you in favor for a developmental league? I mean, do you think that that's something that there should be time taken into and investments being made in one of these leagues? Like, do you like that idea, or are you kind of like, nah, man, it is what it is. If you can't hang, you can't hang.
I think it's a fine line. So I think developmental leagues would be great. From the mental standpoint, helping slow that speed of the game down, so when you get up there, you can make a bigger impact. But also, it's kind of weird too, because the shelf life on football is a little shorter.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess at what point do you sacrifice some of that knowledge to just get out there when your body's like the freshest, or would you rather spend 3 years in a developmental league to then move up to have like a shorter career? I don't know. I feel like it's a fine line between that, but I think that there needs to be some sort of structure or some sort of development, mental league or places, kind of structure, like maybe not as many layers as baseball. You got your low A, high A, double A, triple A, and then the bigs. Maybe not as many, but there needs to be something, because there's a lot of kids that can come out of college and play that might not necessarily be NFL ready right after, that 3-year mark is up or something like that. So I feel like you get a lot of guys that can play lost in the shuffle because of that little maybe awkward period right there. But
interesting. Then
that gives you that gives you more incentive to maybe work a little bit harder in college and actually utilize those 3 years, so you don't have to, maybe have a learning curve or, a physical curve. So.
I think you're absolutely right. That's something I don't think about shelf life because I don't play. That's right. But it's refreshing to hear someone talk about how, at some point you gotta deal with being in the real world, right? And I feel like it's funny. I played at a smaller school, and even some of my friends, dude, they were hanging on. They were playing like Arena Football League 2, like minor leagues or Arena Football League for like 5 years, like traveling around. It was like, dude, you gotta just hang it up, bro. It ain't happening. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
but it's interesting. I feel like that gets lost, especially when you're talking to younger people about how you're going to college. You're going to play football, but maybe also try to figure out your life after football. Is that wisdom that you're trying to impart on, to younger people in the community that you talk to? Like, hey, dude, have a plan. Like, you're not just talking football. Right.
And yeah. I would definitely say that, if football is your passion, by all means, like, go at it, 100%, and, let the chips fall where they may. But it's a way you can go about things that, that'll kind of prepare you for, even after that's over with. So even having somewhat of a plan, it's like chess. Like, you always got to be able to think, 2, 3, 4 moves ahead. So that way, when it does happen, you kind of prepare for it. But that's like with anything. And that's what I'll be trying to. That's what I'll be trying to get over to him. But the same way, I just say the same way that you treat ball, the same way if you can treat anything, if you attack that, and then you'll be fine with whatever you do afterwards. But that's the thing. If you go out there and treat ball like half-assed, then that's the same way you'll do anything else afterwards. So all of it ties together.
That makes sense. Donovan, 100%. Did you have anything else?
That's it, man. I appreciate you coming on. I'm happy what you're doing for Macon, doing for the city. Macon it's a good city, man. I know there's a lot of crazy stuff that goes on there, but I mean, at the end of the day, I love Macon. I moved now, live in Chattanooga, but Macon, I was just back there not too long ago, man. I got to link up with you next time I go back. If you're still there.
Yeah, if you can try to make it down to the camp.
I'm gonna actually try to make it to the camp. I was just gonna tell you that off air, but yeah, I'm gonna try to make it because I'm going.
Get you some food.
Yeah, I'm going to. Is it at? It's by Westside High School, right?
Right. Yeah. So Ed DeFore Sports Complex. That's where we're having it this year.
By the way, another Kareem Jackson, man, 478. It's a lot of talent, man. Right. I'm telling you, Kareem Jackson's from the same city as DeAndre too, man. It's a lot of guys. Yeah, he's one of the best. He's been one of the best corners in the NFL for a while.
Yeah.
Maybe not one of the best, like top, but he's a good player. So right. I mean.
I'm pretty sure he did. He went to Westside, right?
He did. Yeah, he went there. He played quarterback, and now he's playing corner. But Ben Saban wasn't gonna play him at quarterback back then. But he had a lot of pocket quarterbacks. But yeah, I'm happy what you're doing for the city, man. And I'm gonna try to make it out there. I'll link up with you and hit you up and see if I can get out there. Definitely get some grub, watch some good players.
No, definitely, bro. We'll be out there, and Josh, if you can make it down, feel free to.
Dude, I wish.
Feel free to come down too.
Sounds like a good time, man.
It is.
Sounds like a good time. Yeah, we appreciate DeAndre. We appreciate you coming on, man. We appreciate what you're doing for the community. It's always awesome to talk to someone who's as refreshing and honest as you. We hope to have you on the show again. Do you want to tell everybody where they can follow you? Just one more time, where they can get your links, the follow you on Twitter, all that good stuff. Just one more time.
All right. Yep. So you guys can follow me on Instagram. So that's Drizzy_Dre478. My Twitter handle is Drizzy Dre_478. Right there, you can find all my links to my camp. You can also find link to my site, Area 478. Meaning behind that is just really felt that Atlanta has the A logo, right? But our city never really had a logo or any kind of image associated with 478. So that's pretty much what I did. I just put an image with our city, pretty much, our city's logo to give us an image, kind of the mentality, how we do things down here. So, you guys feel free to check those out. Follow those for me, please. Please send that flyer out to every camp because it's important that we get some of this, the kids in Macon. Like we said, we got a lot of kids back here with talent, and a lot of kids that actually have talent wasted. That if we can just be in their ear from that young age, we can really help them get further than some of the places that I was able to see, and that's the whole goal behind it. But thank you guys for this platform.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna tag you in the post too whenever Josh, when he's done with that. I'll make sure I tag you on Facebook because I know we're friends on there, and then I know you're on IG a lot, so I'll definitely tag you on there and Twitter too. So
right, awesome.
And again, that's Georgia Tech. Great. DeAndre Smelter, we appreciate coming on again. Donovan, where can they follow you at? What you got going on?
Follow me on Twitter at Don James Sports. The name remains the same. I'm just trying to stay healthy, man, out of the ER right now.
Yeah,
you gotta
man,
go.
Man. Drink some water.
Yeah.
You gotta GoFundMe for those medical bills.
Shit, I don't know, man. I might need one. No, hopefully,
you have to start one, bro.
I might have to start one. I don't know. I never thought I had to start one at a young age like this, but I might have to. But yeah, it's just expensive.
We'll have you some umbrella and some water at the camp. So
yeah, I'm gonna have I'll have my jug too. I'm gonna have this all. Actually, tomorrow I'll be at UTC, University of Tennessee Chattanooga's football camp. I'll be there to Friday and Saturday. So I'll be starting my camps. You know, my high school football drill. Start that with the kids this weekend at the home Terrell Owens built. Speaking of wide receivers, top 5 wide receiver of all time. You know, he might show up. I don't know. He might show up to the camp. They said he showed up 2 years ago randomly. So just surprise everybody. Start running routes versus high school kids.
He probably can run routes too. That's the crazy.
Yeah, no shit. No shit.
They said he looked. They said he would have been best player on the team. I was like, of course, bro. Like, it's UTC. Like, I don't care how old he is. He's still the best player on the team.
But at what costs? At what cost? He's not eating Fazoli's. He's not eating wings. Come on.
Oh yeah,
is that the life you want? Is that the life you want, Donovan?
Yeah, T.O.'s definitely not. Well, I don't know. Ocho eats a lot of McDonald's, bro. So
yeah, dude, he does, dude. I told you about when I met. I told you about when I met him. He brought in he was like, I'm gonna be here for 3 hours. So he brought in like 2 bags of McDonald's.
He really loves McDonald's.
Every time I see him, he is eating McDonald's, and he's always late because he has to stop at McDonald's.
Yeah, that's a real thing. He posts about it on Twitter. You told me that, and then he was on Brandon Marshall's show talking about it.
I thought it was just bullshit. It's a real thing.
That's
he
hilarious.
Eats McDonald's nonstop.
FIFA and McDonald's.
But all right, this was the Browns Wire podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at Josh Keatley 16. Give us a like, listen, follow, subscribe to us on YouTube. Go ahead, throw Donovan when he gets his GoFundMe up for his medical bills. And then throw some extra cash, help out DeAndre with his camp for the youth, and let us know what you want to see on next week's episode. We appreciate you, and we are out.